Today, Group 3 is presenting copyrights and other licenses. Let's start off with what is copyright. Copyright is a type of intellectual property that gives its owner the exclusive right to make copies of a creative work, usually for a limited time. The creative work may be in a literary, artistic, educational, or a musical form. Copyright is intended to protect the original expression of an idea in the form of a creative work, but not the idea itself. A copyright is subject to limitations based on public interest considerations, such as the fair use of doctrine in the United States. Licenses are permissions given by the copyright holders for their content. Licenses can be applied to copyrighted material in order to give permissions for certain uses of the material. Copyright is still held by the creator in these cases, but the creator has decided to allow others to use their work. Sometimes licenses are purchased and sometimes they are given freely by the creator. Copyright licenses are GNU, it is also known as General Public License. LGPL, it is also known as Lesser General Public License. BSD, it is also known as Berkeley Source Distribution. MIT, it is also known as Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Apache License. PS is also known as Public Domain Software. PS is also known as Proprietary Software.
The GNU, Lesser General Public License, is a free software license published by the Free Software Foundation. The license allows developers and companies to use and integrate software components released under the LGPL into their own software without being required by the terms of a strong copyleft license to release the source code of their own company. However, any developers who modified an LGPL covered components is required to make their modified version available under the same LGPL license. For proprietary software, code under the LGPL is usually used in the form of a shared library so that there is a clear separation between a proprietary and a LGPL component. The LGPL is a primarily used for software libraries, although it is also used by some standalone applications. The LGPL was developed as a compromise between the strong copyleft of GNU General Public License and more permissive license such as BSD license and MIT license. The LGPL was developed as a compromise between the strong copyleft of GNU General Public License and more permissive license such as BSD license and MIT license. The word lesser in the title shows that the LGPL does not guarantee the end users complete freedom in the use of software. It only guarantees the freedom of modification for components licensed under the LGPL but not for any proprietary components.
BSD, Berkeley Software Distribution. BSD licenses are a family of permissive free software licenses imposing minimal restrictions on the use and distribution of covered software. This is in contrast to copyleft licenses, which have share-alike requirements. The original BSD license was used for its namesake, the Berkeley Software Distribution (BSD), a Unix-like operating system. The original version has since been revised, and its descendants are referred to as modified BSD licenses. BSD is both a license and a class of license, generally referred to as BSD-like. The modified BSD license in wide use today is very similar to the license originally used for the BSD version of Unix. The BSD license is a simple license that merely requires that all code retain the BSD license notice if redistributed in source code format or reproduce the notice if redistributed in binary format. The BSD license, unlike some other licenses, example GPL, does not require that source code be distributed at all.
The MIT license, Massachusetts Institute of Technology license. MIT license. The MIT license is a permissive free software license originating at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the late 1980s. As a permissive license, it puts only very limited restriction on reuse and has therefore high license compatibility. The MIT license is compatible with many copyleft licenses such as General Public License. MIT license software can be integrated with GPL software. The MIT license also permits reuse within proprietary software provided that all copies of licensed software include a copy of the MIT license terms and the copyright notice. MIT licensed software can be used within proprietary software, which distinguishes it from copyleft software licenses. As of 2020, MIT was the most popular software license found in one analysis, continuing from reports in 2015 that MIT was the most popular software license on GitHub, ahead of any GPL variant and other free and open source software licenses.
LGPL GNU Lesser General Public License is a free software license published by the Free Software Foundation. The LGPL provides a more permissive alternative for the strictly copyleft GPL.
The Apache license is a permissive free software license written by the Apache Software Foundation. It allows users to use the software for any purpose, to distribute it, to modify it, and to distribute modified versions of the software under the terms of the license without concern of royalties. The ASF and its project release their software under the Apache license.
Public domain software is a software that has been placed in the public domain. In other words, there is absolutely no ownership such as copyright, trademark, or patent. Software in the public domain can be modified, distributed, or sold even without any attribution by anyone. This is unlike the common case of software under exclusive copyright, where software licenses grant limited. Proprietary software is any software that is copyrighted and bears limits against use, distribution, and modification that are imposed by its publisher, vendor, or developer. Proprietary software remains the property of its owner or creator and is used by end users or organizations under predefined conditions.
Proprietary is an adjective that describes something owned by a specific company or individual. In the computing world, proprietary is often used to describe software that is open source or freely licensed. Examples include operating systems, software programs, and file formats. Proprietary software is also known as non-free software or closed-source software. It is computer software for which the software's publisher or another person reserves some rights from license to use, modify, share modifications, or share the software. It is the opposite of open source or free software. Examples of proprietary software include Microsoft Windows, Adobe Flash Player, PS3 OS, iTunes, Adobe Photoshop, Google Earth, Mac OS, Skype, WinRAR, or else version of Java and some versions of Unix.